Hello, Australia. I have family over there. My lovely uncle had his birthday the other day. A big one. But I miss everything. I went to positive parenting. I love to learn and do things right. So I went to positive parenting before I had children. And I coped very well with my perfect boys. I enjoyed them. I was happy to have boys. They're very successful. 30 years old. People told me I had the most beautiful kids in the world. Really, people did. They loved my kids. I was a nurse. I achieved really good marks. I was top of the class of mental health, but that was just one of my interests, and so was medicine. But by the time COVID came about, I'd been cast out of any job. I could not work. I'd been cast out of my city. By the way, good people suffer in this world. That's bad enough. Don't go criticising other governments, Australia. I just want to say, I wrote to 16 Minutes, and because of my life and what I go through, and what I have amazingly survived, and I will now, because if I die, everyone will know who did it. The New Zealand Police, the government, working under NATO. Altogether, Five Eyes is the intelligence that treats us as a tourist. Every single dollar that we spend to keep us safe, it goes to Trump. So when my mother calls Trump a criminal, and way before COVID, I walked out of the house. I was too upset. This COINTELPRO, organised terrorism, is really not very nice. It's sadistic. Now, Melissa Caddick, onto her. I wrote to 60 Minutes. I said, interview, you must investigate again, because this media in New Zealand and Australia are listening to every single word that the police say as if it's the truth, and the politics that are actors and puppets. And police lie. The rest of the world knows that. But the rest of the world has some form of, I don't know, protection, human rights, I guess. Do we have human rights? No. But guess what? You don't care. Of course you don't care. So, this history, a human right that was breached by New Zealand and Australian government in the first place, is a right to information, so we can make wise choices. We don't make wise choices. Anybody that cares dies. Any good cops? I think good cops are killed by the registered nurse in custody unit in the cell after the smearing campaign. So look up COINTELPRO, look up America's political history, and think about Melissa. No, she was not evil. They don't care that her friends are hurting and her parents are... I don't know if she's dead. We found her foot, right? For her sake, I'm hoping she's dead. She's a very successful, wealthy woman. She was classy. She likes labels. She's into fashion. Not maths and science, but fashion. And she married a couple of times. These people weren't rich. She wasn't a scammer. She had friends. She might have not had a license for giving financial advice. How much financial advice was her position at the time? So what they did, they went into a house, as they do in Australia. The police go into the house, say, I've seen it on video too, and I think you better help these people out, because there's no more suffering and torture than being terrorized, not just by your own government, police, and everyone they talk to, including your own family. They cut them off, they smear them, they circulate defamations and fabrications. Well, you residents believe every word, and they say anybody that complains about a cop, they're psychopathic cops, by the way. In the first place, they are. But ours, they don't know law. They have no control. They don't know when they make a mistake. They listen to their sick, evil inspectors, and the goal is, what's the goal here? To make you happy? Why don't they answer their phone? To me, it's pretty obvious that the government and police don't like you, if you think about it. And they've taken your rights. In America, they don't continue with this political history. They use more of an updated system, electromagnetic, and it's all mind control, of course. It's all propaganda. Worse. But what is wrong with America? I mean, NATO, America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and England. Whoa, that's what you're dealing with. If they make a mistake, they're not going to say sorry. They're going to kill you. Melissa was rich. She did not rely on her partners for money. They were probably very lovely men. She had friends. She gave them things. And then all of a sudden, the police come in. Why? Because the government and the police are very greedy people. They murder people. Once you're going through it, you know exactly what's happening. But of course, Facebook, YouTube, media, they don't want you to talk either. You never know if it's just false beliefs or never ever trust a cop. The rest of the world knows that. You guys, your cops go off. Learn how to take people off. Out. No policies, no law. You see your cops doing stupid things and people are being beat up by your psychopaths. Whatever. They do what they want. So what they did is they raided Melissa's house. They said she didn't have a license and all these things. Their reason for doing it. It's pretty obvious. She had no idea what was going on. And then Melissa goes missing. Presumed dead. There's so many theories. Then her foot washes up. So what if she's alive? Do you think these people involved would have cut off her foot so she couldn't run away? So she could sit there, have sex with them and make money? Or is that too sadistic? No. That's your government, by the way. I know what they're like. Then they do all this thing working, organise, the lawyers, all those greedy people. They document that she is a fraudster. You Australians sit there and you call her lots of ugly names and she's in heaven, I hope, for her sake, because this is sadistic. All the governments are sadistic. It does not mean that you in Australia have, you're an exception. No, that's just stupid, isn't it? You're actually worse than Trump because they're giving your money. Every single dollar you spend to keep you safe is going to Trump, where they lie to you and media just says all these things. Anybody complains, they die. They get called a thief. They get called a crazy person. Yes, the cops, they pounce on the good cops who speak up for others. It's just a little out of control. So I wrote to 60 Minutes and they didn't write back. Of course, nobody talks to me. I don't have anybody. The only person I had was trying to kill me, but at least I could shift things around and have my lawns mowed. He's in prison. You people believe everything a lying cop says. All I know is they're not very smart. They're sadistic. They don't care about you. They don't help. They lock up the wrong people. in New Zealand and Australia, you know what it's about? And it's hard for people that really just want to do the things the way they have been taught to do them, the right way and the caring way. These people suffer the most, as with history. Any human rights activist is tortured, locked up. Just the same. It's just the same oppression from a greedy government. But you, in Australia and New Zealand, woe and behold, you let them do this to innocent good people. You become part of it. You call them crazy. You repeat their slander. Yeah, cops are known to lie. Cops are known to cover things up. And this will happen in America. Yes, they get away with things, right? But there is some form of control in America. You do see they know a little bit of the law. They learn their job. And they do care a bit. But in New Zealand, you watch Police 10-7, that's propaganda, mate. No cop cares and goes in and asks two sides of the story. Here in our countries, it's about friends, greed, money. There are good people, but they're not in the government. Why? Why do you let the government keep secrets? You don't care. New Zealand and Australia, they don't care about anything. They just think their government is the best. You know, your government is murdering your people, like me. And I never even said anything, and I still get called crazy. Yes, very good at psychology. I knew not to say the word corruption, and I don't talk. But they sadistically continue. They cut you off, and when that person disappears and dies, nobody cares. Melissa, they just did it straight out, and they made her parents and her friends hurt and feel really sad about what she had done to them. Mate, what makes sense? That's your government and your police, probably lawyers and things like involved. And why not? She's got money. Why not make her look like the con woman? Because you believe everything you read and say. You're going to say she's crazy because the cops are putting her in a mental hospital. I think you should go and do some research into America political history. Unfortunately, this world, whatever language you talk or what country you're in, that is what you believe in. That's how you think. We need to stop hurting those smart people that care. Because all the governments care about is that we're in the hospital system or the prison or something that pays their wages. Law. I know too much. I see too much. Especially when you cannot talk about it. Majority of the time I just get overwhelmed. What I have to say is out of this world. But this is the truth. And it's time to talk about it. Because some people, they only care about others. They only speak up when others are affected. And yeah, Melissa, her parents should not be calling her a con. My parents think I annoy the police. I don't know what people think. They just abuse me and hate me. It's pretty sad. I guess. Most people go on shooting sprees, so when there's a mass murderer, that's the government making people do that. So COVID, you're all going on, oh my goodness, I'm an innocent person, he pushed me. But these people, when they're dying, when they're locked up in mental institutes, when they're refused bail and have been suffering in the hands of the registered nurse, because the cop says, oh, she's this. And so let's just fucking make her torture, suffer. Let's just do that. I'm really disappointed with a lot of people. There are kind people that don't wish harm on other people. The odd one. Why do we let the government rule us? Why do we let them make money from greed and war? Yes, war. Death. Yes. Who cares about education? Because I know that that New Zealand, they've been up to all sorts of things where you just trust them. Like somebody comes back from Auckland. I live in Thames now because I left Auckland. I was trespassed from my house, the area, after being beat up and nearly killed. And I nearly disappeared without anyone caring. But I do care so much that I have fought to stay alive. Not kill other people, not kill myself. But yeah, they force you to take drugs to cope. They are sadistic. Read up about it. Read up a bit about political corruption, and where you're at it, think about your government. Now, your police officers, they have a problem anyway. We got to stop the war. We got to stop letting these crazy, dumb, greedy people tell us what to do and keep secrets as if they're more important than us. Anybody that competes with them, such as Melissa Caddick, will suffer. And you believe every word. Melissa is a nice person. Okay, she's got good values. She don't deserve that. There's a lot of people up there. A lot of good people up there. They're not resting. It's not peaceful. Not in New Zealand and Australia. I mean, in America, people are being targeted by electronic weapons because if they practice what they do here, now it's history. It's been there. It's been phased out. It's illegal. Why? Because it's so sadistic. You think about a human rights activist who speaks up against the government, or a journalist, say. You know, some journalists, they go through a really hard time. They get locked up in prison. Who gives a shit that innocent people being locked up, that there is no human rights, whatever? I feel it's beyond media. It's indoctrination. I think you guys don't care about nothing. Or you just trust. Very, very wrong. COVID is probably a distraction. It's an example of them killing us. You speak up, Facebook will take it off, right? Everything I say, they take every word off. Everywhere I go, they watch. And that person that I have spoken to will come back with provocating responses. So it's much easier now. The first few years are very confusing, very lonely, very, very painful. I mean, they just take you out of a job, and the next thing your employer's telling you that you are unsafe. It doesn't matter what the truth is. It matters who the receiver is. So my neighbour, various things. And people go crazy. People kill for cops. People try to kill me. All the time. So what now? I think it's time we spoke for other people. And you stop trusting your government. Because I can tell you one thing. They're really quite sick. People shouldn't be in power and have greed. You know, they're actors in the first place. So why would you listen to them? Do you think police are honest people? No, police hide. They can be good, but not in New Zealand and Australia. Those good ones are dead and gone. They've either left. Those police that speak up for, say, a victim of an officer, say he's beating his wife to death, the police don't care. If somebody speaks up and reports that officer and saves a life, will they suffer? Yes. There are articles of police officers that speak up. going through the most terrorizing experience. And I can tell you that every part of your life is tackled. Even when you're sleeping, they take it, they smash it. I've got all the evidence. You have sick people chasing you around. When I drive around, I have little kids calling me crazy lady. And after 16 years, it gets a bit boring. So this is, I don't know why I'm so quiet, but yeah, it's overwhelming. You got to cope. You have to cope. Anyway, never ever trust a cop. That is a well-known international phrase, quote. Never ever trust a cop. Like even a good cop. They don't trust you. They're out to get you. They are allowed to lie, to get the truth out of people and protect us. But ours don't. Ours lie to get the evil people to kill the good people. Now the evil people that kill the good people, they're going to be dead too. And I say the grandchildren and your children, they're going to be making money after they donate the organs, and the fingernails will be used for money. So Melissa Caddick, I really do hope that she has passed away, that they did kill her. She's a very special, competent lady when it comes to style and money. So maybe they've got her somewhere. They chopped up off her foot. Do you think it's sadistic? That's nothing. I would not go putting any other country down. Calling Russia the terrorists. Do you know who the terrorists are? It's your government and your sadistic police. They laugh when people cry and get hurt. Why should they come in numbers when the mental health people come in numbers and overwhelm a person to gain some control? The police do it too. More numbers. They never make sense to me. They sweep everything under the carpet. They lie. They take advantage of what they can do, their power, their trust, and their fabrications. Even the judge believes them. Why? I mean, I speak to a lot of people who've been arrested because I got arrested and tortured very, very often. When they let me go, hypothermic in the morning, I couldn't ring my parents. Yes, I didn't know what was happening. I begged people to get home, in and out of consciousness, but I knew it was stress. You got to stop people from dying and suffering. You got to stop hating the good people, because you can't have a government. I mean, war should have been phased out years ago, but you're too busy sitting there trusting your government. I know they don't. Yeah, I guess war not. But America causes trouble. Your government is right under him, relying on all those AIs, the police, and, security to watch over us and make sure that we do not get hurt or live or have friends. We suffer in every single way. If I send a series of text messages to my sister, who's already thinking and saying all this stuff for some reason, like everybody else, you're this, you're that, complete opposite of the truth, but they believe it. Crazy to believe them, isn't it? And the media, I mean, journalism, shouldn't that be investigations to Melissa Caddick? Yes, I complained about it. I wasn't nasty. They're probably doing what they think is right, like many people. But some people don't. They know exactly what they're doing. Some people are intimidated by the police. Lawyers, if I go to ring a lawyer, the police have got in straight away. So I had to do the appeal by myself. Then I just throw it away, because if there's no human rights, there's no justice. What's the point? Every time I put effort into explaining something to the council or the police, or it's all of them, it's the health department, it's all, they ghost me, they kill me. They cut you off. The traits of a narcissist is what the police use on good people. I suggest the whole world move on from letting politicians greed create war and suffering. It's all just out of control. Yeah. Russia, no, not the terrorists. I'd go to Russia any day if I could. I can't get hold of them because I've got 5 countries and all that power looking over me. So anyway, I got some pretty sad stories, and then I got some stupid stories and some funny stories. But I've been waiting for this to come to an end. I felt so good one day. I've never hurt anyone, and yet I've got everyone trying to take me out. And I can get away, and I survived. I never hurt anyone. I was feeling really good. Then all of a sudden, I was feeling crap. Shit, something's wrong. I'd been at home by myself for about 5 days, but the next thing I know, these ladies from the mental health team, I said I didn't want anything to do with them, but they arrived at my door. I'm so nice to everybody and thoughtful, and I thought I don't want to upset them and make them feel unwelcome, so I opened the door. But they're out to punish me. They're not listening to the fact that I need the door closed because the most important thing to me is flying around the house. The most special bird in the world. Well, the best talker, yeah, he's very close to me. I have a lot of birds. They keep me alive. Do you think that we should have some antibiotics? If you got 100, okay, I could go on forever. They got nothing on me, the government. Nothing. They're stupid. They're either greedy or they have been indoctrinated to not care. I have a feeling there's something going on with your brains too. Oh, I got lime on my car. Oh, is lime any good for cars? Oh, I don't know. Nobody cares that you don't have any human rights, and it actually states that human rights are only for those politicians. Yeah. People say, I am okay because I'm a good person, I'm with God. Well, I've been reading the Bible and the Book of Mormon. It got me through the first few years. You know, Jesus, just letting it go, walking past all that shit. Now I run for my life, but I survive. And then, yeah, I had to stop reading because, you know, they get violent. They kill people. And I couldn't relate to that because I didn't want to kill or hurt people. But you don't know what's going on. The sadistic shit has to stop. And they're going to kill you all. They're killing people by war, greed. The Holocaust, nobody has learned anything because when this started in 2011, I suffered so bad. Can you imagine that you're a nurse, a person that everybody trusts, and you save lives and care about people, and the next thing people are screaming and security's running up and grabbing you, you called all these stalker names, you're locked up, everybody, you know, every word that comes out of their mouth is provoking. Now I'm used to it. I can cope with it. But what, you know, I can see it happening in your country, and it hurts a lot. And that's why I decided to speak up. You can't have your people up there in heaven. They're not at risk. I mean, they're not at rest, yes. And, you know, Zuckerberg, I told him, I don't believe in bad spirits, but actually, maybe they're true for people like him. That quiet and us, not just with COVID, but every single. If I tell you something in my day, he's gonna make sure nobody sees it. Just like Trump, like all the police, all the politicians, lawyers. I could go on forever, I'll tell you. We got to stop it. We got to have a better world. Yes, I read about the Holocaust because I was suffering, and I tried to get a message from them. Why suffer? I did not know at that stage I was going to suffer worse than imaginable for 16 years. I mean, when they took me away that time, I was in fetal position for a month. They injected me, nearly killed me. My son was getting married. My family weren't talking to me. They've had enough. I never say anything. But my son hates me. Some cop got in there. Neighbours start, your son hates you. I'm going to ring your son. Your dog's out of control. In fact, they take my money. They take my money. They do. They take your job. They take your money. They get the neighbours to smash everything you've got. Everything is smashed. Everywhere you go, people call your names. Run towards me. And the cop even goes around the supermarket. So I couldn't go to the supermarket in Auckland. I don't know what had happened. But they, all of a sudden, when I'm going in and out of consciousness, I cannot do anything because the amount of stress, the helicopters over your head, the people calling, the cops coming in the middle of the night, not being able to feel safe. And there's so much that I didn't realise, which is probably the slander that the cops, in the mental hospital. Oh my God. You know, people are just cruel to me. And they have all sorts of ideas going through their head. I wouldn't wish suffering on anyone. And it's people like that speaking up for others. Those people, they suffer the most, right? They always have. But isn't it time? Why should we have a bunch of greedy psychopaths ruling us, keeping secrets, listening to them? And you, in Australia, a cop says they're crazy. They're crazy, right? They're a criminal, right? They're a stalker, right? Where do you trust a cop? Why do you trust a cop? Where do they get their education from? Where do they get their honesty from? A cop is allowed to lie, and they take it all the way. They will cover up their crimes, and that is why you should never trust a cop. Because what they train is psychopathic, narcissistic. They trick people. They play games. Okay? They should be doing it to the criminals. But they're not in our countries. They're doing it to the good people. I wonder what their agenda is. And somebody said, I had to sort of think about it. About the AI. That they're going to be sitting there and we're going to be slaves, or we'll be dead, or we'll be just used as sex objects, whatever they want. Because you're letting them, guys. You're letting them do whatever they want. We're going backwards. I don't care if they hate me because they hate good people. Melissa Caddock, and there's an Australian cop that I saw a video of. You know, whatever I talk about, whether it's someone's got cancer or whatever, they're listening, the changes happen. Right? When I'm on my mobile, things disappear. You have no idea. It's another world, but it's the true world. Sadistic governments. We need some compassion, empathy, some common sense, and some brains, man. Why should you obey and trust and let them keep secrets? Everyone who dies because there's not a doctor available, let's forgive them. You forgive everything. People always said New Zealand and Australia is a very friendly and naive. They could take us for a ride any day. None of them have. And no terrorists, only us. They think we're the terrorists. But you know, it's them. Your government, your police, and they are pulling bodies apart for fun, or for slander, or because their boss says so. Because they don't know anything. except how to please the evil psychopath on top that they trust. They're dumber than us. I'll tell you some stories, but I don't want to think about them. It's time to go to bed. Oh, I've got to face someone yet, but it's a bit later. I think I won't. Okay. Good night, Australian people. My family don't talk to me. And when I say, oh, Mum might call me crazy, whatever, oh, your mum never says, yeah, you're crazy, whatever. They just say it. Like the way police, they snoop around my neighbourhood and they tell people things so that when I'm being attacked by a stalker, even though to be stalked by, and threatened, it's a pretty bad thing to go through. So they change the legislation. But when I'm chased around the field by a stalker, violent, and then I ask for witnesses, the neighbours actually run up like normal looking old ladies, Indian ladies, nice people. They run up to attack me. And some people go, oh, like that. They're like, oh, they're so scared. You guys are crazy. Don't ever trust your government or a cop. Think about who you want and what sort of a world you want. It's way, way overdue. You know that. I can show you my neighbours' baseball bats on my property. Disgusting people. Hurting animals to hurt me. Yeah, that's enough now. Well, good night, Australia.